अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 18th chapter, text 11 onwards. Gopajati pratichanna deva gopala rupino idire Krishna Ramocha nata eva natam rupa. O king, demigods disguise themselves as members of the coward community, and just as dramatic dancers praise another dancer, worshipped Krishna and Balaram, who were also appearing as coward boys. So similar fortune is also given to us by participating in Lord's pastimes, by hearing or by speaking. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Sarada Sandrika says that if the demigods had appeared in their natural forms, the cowherd boys would have recognized them and worshipped them. Therefore, the demigods came as cowherd boys like Krishna and Balaram. In this way, Shiva, Narada, and other demigods disguised themselves as cowherd boys to taste the ecstasy of Krishna's pastimes. The phrase Gopala Rupinahu means that Krishna and Balaram eternally have the forms of cowherd boys. Sanatana Goswami, Brihad Vaishnava Dushan says, who are these cowards actually? This verse explains associates like Garuda took on coward birth, Gopajati Pratichanna, but without the qualities and pastimes, or they merged into the coward families having very similar qualities. They accepted sweet qualities similar to the Lord's. They played while praising Krishna. Deva means those who play. The word Cha indicates that Balaram took a secondary role. He is also mentioned after Krishna. They praised Krishna like a dancer praising another dancer. This means in playing they were very similar to the others. O king, you understand this? Or seeing the skill in dancing, some devatas were the Lord's devotees, became coward forms, and on earth or in the sky began praising Krishna. That is explained in the verse. In order to praise their forms as cowards, they are compared to actors. Not so. In verse 12 it is said, Brahmane Langane Chapi Brahmarai Langane Chapi Asputana Vikashane Chikridatu Nyudhena Kakapakya Dharukachit. Krishna and Balaram played with their coward boyfriends by wheeling about, leaping, hurling, slapping, and fighting. Sometimes Krishna and Balaram would pull the hair on the boys' heads. The purport, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada Maharaj say that the Acharyas have explained this verse as follows. The word Brahmari indicates that the boys, pretending they were Messians, would sometimes wheel about until they became dizzy. They would also sometimes jump about Langanei. The word Kepi indicates that sometimes they would hurl objects like balls or stones, and that sometimes they would grab each other by the arms and throw one another about. Aspotam means that sometimes they would slap one another's shoulders or backs, and Vikasani indicates they would drag one another about in the midst of their play. By the words Nyudhana, arm wrestling and other types of friendly fighting are indicated, and the word Kakapakya Dharu means that Krishna and Balaram would sometimes grab the hair on the other boys' hair heads in a playful manner. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the boys played by arms wrestling or by making sounds with their palms in their armpits, aspotana. According to Siddharth Swami, Kakapuksha Dharo means the lock of hair remaining on the sides of the head after the Chudakarana ceremony. Others say it means hair tied in three braids or the locks hanging in front of the ears. Chudakarana is one of the 10 sanskaras wherein a child's head is said to leave a sika. So, Sanatana Goswami says, they made objects like tops, a spin, or grasped each other's hands and wheeled around. They threw balls or let go of others' hands and went flying around. They clapped their heads, they clapped their hands and pulled each other or pulled using ropes. They wrestled, they had their styles with three braids Kakapakadaru. Sometimes they did one activity and sometimes another, or not being seen by others, the two brothers simultaneously did all the activities. This showed their powers, or for whoever was the opponent in wrestling, they became visible in front of that person in the arena. So, the next verse, that is verse 13, it is said, that क्वचित् नृत्यत्सु चान्येषु गायको वादको स्वयं सशंसो सशंसतोर्महाराज साधु साधु इति वादिनो. While the other boys were dancing, O king, Krishna and Balaram would sometimes accompany them with his song and instrumental music, and sometimes the two lords would praise the boys, saying, very good, very good. Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Vaishnava Dosani says that previously it was described how the cowherd boys pleased Krishna. Now Krishna and Balaram pleasing the boys is described. By their own desire, they sang and played instruments while the boys danced. This shows the pleasure in playing. Our great king, you are best among kings because of your excellent devotion. Therefore, you deserve to hear about the Lord's most astonishing affection for the boys. How fortunate they are. In verse 14 it is said that Kochit Vilvai Kochit Kumbhai Kocha Kocha Malaka Mustivi Asprusya Netra Bandha Adyehi Kochit Mriga Khageya. That means sometimes the cowherd boys would play with their billow or kumbha fruits, and sometimes with a handful of amalaka fruits. At other times, they would play the game of trying to touch one another or trying to identify somebody while one is blindfolded. And sometimes they would imitate animals and birds. The purport of Vishnu, and the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, quoting from Sanatana Goswami, explains that the word adehi by other such sports indicates with such games as chasing one another and building bridges. Another pastime would occur at noon while Lord Krishna was taking rest. Nearby, the young cowherd girls would be passing by, singing, and Krishna's boyfriends would pretend to inquire from them about the price of milk. So then the boys would steal yogurt and other items from them and run away. Krishna, Balaram and their friends would also play games in which they would cross the river in boats. So Vishnu Thakur further explains that the boys would play with fruits by throwing a few in the air and then throwing others to try to hit them. The word Netrabandha indicates a game in which one boy would approach a blindfolded boy from behind and place his palms over the blindfolded boy's eyes. Then simply by the feel of his palms, the blindfolded boy would have to guess who the other boy was. In lots of games, the boys put up stakes for the winner, such as flutes or walking sticks. Sometimes the boys would imitate the various fighting methods of the forest animals, and at other times they would chirp like birds, coo, coo, like that. So thank you very much for listening to this lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our channel, and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare